Good morning out there, everybody. I'm your host, Alan. Appreciate you tuning into The Drive as you head into work this morning. Well, the new Hantavirus, 17. Yes, 17 exposed, 1 infected. We're going to touch on that. Victor Wembanyama. Oh, yeah. What an elbow. Kicked out of game 4 against the Minnesota Timberwolves and the wall with the president. Well, we're going to get into that and many more stories this morning on The Drive. Let's jump right into this thing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a good weekend out there. Appreciate all of you tuning into the show this morning. Happy belated Mother's Day for all of you, and hope you really, really did enjoy yourself. Well, the new Hantavirus, and they're saying that it's worse than COVID. Well, you've got on a cruise ship that has been affected, you got 17 Americans exposed. 1 person infected. As they get back, they get them touched back down on American soil. They're supposed to go out to Nebraska to a quarantine place. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just another example of stuff that is continuing to happen all over the country. This virus, they say that it's worse than COVID. Now, we know how COVID had an effect on everybody. Some people said it's real. Some people said it wasn't. But there are a lot of people that lost their lives behind COVID. Now, they say that this virus right here spreads rapidly, and people do not want and now we, like I said, we got 17 Americans that have been and exposed, and 1 person affected, and God only knows how many people and what's going to be the outcome of this. We surely don't want to go back into those days of COVID when you couldn't go or you couldn't do anything at all. Well, let's keep this thing rolling. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Victor Wembanyama. What an elbow. He threw an elbow and hit Nas Reed, and he got kicked out of the game. Victor didn't even know what flagrant 2 an upgrade meant. If you see some of the highlights on my sports show, you'll see it. He didn't even know what it means, but Victor was kicked out of the game. And Anthony Edwards went for 16, 17 points in the 4th quarter to get a thrilling win for the Minnesota Timberwolves, which, let's be honest, if Victor Wembanyama would have been playing, the series is tied 2-2 now, but it probably wouldn't have been tied like that if Wembanyama was playing. Young players like him have to understand that anything that you do, your actions can cost your team. But that elbow right there, ladies and gentlemen, from the onset that it happened, I knew that the youngster was going to get kicked out of the game. There was no shadow, there was no doubt in my mind that he was not going to get kicked out of the game with the way he loaded up and he threw that elbow. And they were trying to take the basketball away from him, but when he threw that elbow and connected, you got to think this dude's 7'6", and if he's swinging an elbow, man, when he swings his elbow, his arms are dropped down to hell. The man he hit in the face was 6'10", 6'11", and it seemed like he was a little bitty kid. So that is a hell of a mistake. We're going to see if it's going to cost the San Antonio Spurs, because if they don't win, if they end up losing, if it goes 7 games and they end up losing the series by 1 game, that's definitely going to come back to hurt Victor Wembanyama. Well, we're going to keep this thing rolling, but before we do, I'm going to need you to hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the like and subscribe button and the donate button. Once again, these videos are brought to you by none other than me here, Alan at D9J Sports, where we train not only some of the top quarterbacks in the state of Texas, but some of them go on to be highly rated all over the United States of America. Well, the president. Well, you know President Trump, man, his thing is the president is used to coming off, flying off at somebody with threats, and then they abide by his rules and his terms. And if you do not abide by his rules and his terms, even if you're on his team, he will turn on you in an instant. But in this case right here, ladies and gentlemen, Iran, they don't accept no offers. And the president, he's backed in the corner. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this thing's probably about to ramp back up. He's left with no choice now. He's really left with no choice but to ramp this thing up. And now other countries like China and all of them are really about to get exposed. Many experts out there say that this, once it starts back up, it's the beginning of a true World War III. We've heard so many things that have been going on, so many reports that have been coming out over what's going to happen. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a war that doesn't seem like it's ever going to end. And we know that the way things are happening all over the United States, things continue to get worse and worse, especially with this war going on. Well, we're going to continue to roll on, ladies and gentlemen. Well, school's almost out. What will your kids be doing? Will they be in the circle of teens at night in street takeovers? Yep. Will they be in street takeovers? It is a serious, serious topic that's about to hit the forefront because school's about to be out. We know what is the date 11. So most schools have 10, 11 days. Some schools are already out around the country. What will your kid be doing? Will your kid be trying to find a job? Will your kid be trying to do something in the summertime that's positive? Or will your kid be a part of the street takeovers? It is a very serious question. It is a very serious problem. Will your kid be a part of the mall takeovers? This thing is getting out of hand. So that's some of the questions that we want to ask. And then also, will your kid be training for the next two things that are about to start up first, football and volleyball, when the upstart of the new school year? Ladies and gentlemen, be careful out there. Be careful out there. It's Big Blue Monday. Oh, is that Tuesday? Which one is it? I guess it's Big Blue Monday. I'm going to call it whatever I want to call it on my show. You can call it whatever you want to call it on your show or in your car or wherever you at, but that's what I'm going to call it. Big ass Blue Monday. Big Blue Monday. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Tune into the show tonight. Our sports drive that comes on this evening. Once again, this is Al. I'm your host. Appreciate you stopping by. I'm definitely